morning, good afternoon, and if you're coming home from working a long 9 to 5, I hope you're having a great night as we bring to you another BodySlamNet exclusive. My guest is a returning one as we bring today's one half of the world-class wrecking crew and the current NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, the Mile High Samurai, Royce Isaacs. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. That was a long sentence with a lot of different adjectives stuck in there. So good job getting through all that, man.
Thank you, thank you. Been working on it. Been working. Last time we spoke, I stuttered a bit, so this time I was actually be able to get better at it.
No,
So
you
yeah,
you crushed it. I would have stumbled through that one. So good job, brother, man. Thank you for having me back on, man. It's always good to chat with you. And yeah, man, it's a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. I'm happy to be here.
it's perfect. In last 6 months, last time we talked to each other, you were getting for New Japan Pro Wrestling against Tom Lawler and Fred Rosser, that big nose qualification match, and we thought it was going to be the nail in the coffin. As a matter of fact, it wasn't a nail in the coffin. It was more so just one more war before you could finally say, "I can rest from this." But so it's been 6 months since we last spoke, and you've been up to a lot of proving the naysayers wrong. The last time we spoke, you and Gerald Nelson of the now world-class wrecking crew were still engulfed in this heated rivalry with Tom Lawler and Fred Rosser. Despite not things working out with no qualification match, you two decided to get as filthy as possible and settle things once and for all in a best 2 out of 3 falls match at New Japan's Fighting Spirit event. I mentioned this earlier, but how did it feel to finally truly put the nail in the coffin and get through that emotional chapter?
Yeah, at some point it felt like I don't know, some kind of a toxic relationship. So it feels like I finally got that X in the past for real now. Um, there was a lot of emotions and a lot of blood that was spilled in that ring. That was one of the most bloody matches I've ever been a part of, and it was a bit of a car crash, but I think in its own way, it was a fitting ending to all of the absolute insanity that was you know, Team Filthy versus Team Filthy and Fred.
And Fred, yeah, just a little bit of a dig right there. But it was good to see the world class wrecking crew, of course, stand on top, get back to what's more important. Since the World Tag League had passed, of course, I felt like you were perhaps, wondering, hey, why didn't we make it in again? But it's all about proving yourself. And my second question is about another proving spot that you've been able to adapt in. Your good friend Josh Barnett, on Bloodsport. It's been a second home for you when it comes to unleashing that one-on-one rage that's inside your heart. The same month you ended things with Lawler and Rosser, you made your way to New Jersey at the White Eagle Hall, where you added another name from NXT on your list. This time around, it was another member of the No Quarter Catch crew with Miles Bourne, who you defeated via knockout. How satisfying did that feel for you and your momentum? And are you looking forward to adding a name like Tavion Heights to that list in the next couple of months, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, those no quarter guys are obviously really top-notch grapplers, and it was big to get another feather in my cap. It was one of the biggest accomplishments I've had in my career was being the first Bloodsport competitor to be a WWE talent, and pretty cool. I was also the first guy to do it twice. So I have a lot of respect for Tavion. I think he's really, really talented. He's shown that both in WWE and in his Noah run. I think his wrestling style is really impressive, and he's a guy that I followed uh, his career when he was an Olympic wrestler as well. And I was a wrestler in college, so I have a lot of respect for anyone that can do something on as high of a level as he's been able to. But now, the playing field's a little more leveled, and I've been training my ass off, in terms of blood sport style, in terms of the grappling and whatnot, the submission grappling, and so I think you know it's like it's all love and it's all respect, but I absolutely that's kind of the matchup I have my eyes on next. I after the match with Miles, I called him out on Twitter. He responded. He said he was down. I said, "All right, man, get that permission slip signed and let's do it." So, you know, um, I don't know what'll happen in the future, but both parties are interested. So I really hope that happens. I'm looking to go 3-0 versus no quarter. Maybe I'll have to fight Ren after that if I beat Tavion. But no, I think that's definitely for me. That's a matchup on the horizon that I really want to have at Bloodsport. It would mean a lot to me to fight against an Olympic wrestler at Bloodsport, and especially someone like that who, you know, there's no bad blood. There's genuine respect for his work, but you know, it is my home, and he's coming in my home. So show your respect, take your shoes off at the door, and understand whose world you're coming into.
I love that. Very tense, but all respect in the world to Tavion Heights. You just want to prove that you're the better competitor in the world of Bloodsport, and that's always the best place to show it at. Another match that was memorable for you, another match that meant a lot to you. I don't think there was a better time for you than December when in 2024, the same man that brought you into Bloodsport was sharing this squared circle with you. You've had a lot of love to share about your boy Josh Barnett, who in return has put your hard work in big opportunities, including one where you two battled it out at Highest in the Room 3 for GCW at the Ukrainian Culture Center in Los Angeles, California. What were the emotions like? How excited were you? And what were the lessons you learned when you stepped in the ring with one of the almighty greats in Josh Barnett?
It was definitely emotional for sure. You know, I've grappled Josh, I've sparred Josh, but it's kind of different when you're, you know, doing the real deal thing. And you know, that was a really challenging match. Obviously, I didn't get the result that I wanted in the end of it. Um, but it's still it. I'm still proud of the performance I put on. There's a lot of things that you know, little technical things that I'd go back and okay, maybe I would approach this way, or I should have attacked this body part more and whatnot. Um, you know, I hopefully one of these days I get another crack at him because you know, he was certainly the better man that night, and I think Josh's resume speaks for itself. But I I'm being honest with myself here and knowing that I could absolutely, on my best day, beat Josh, and I say that with all respect to him, but I have to be honest about my skill and ability and my potential. So it's on me now to you know, keep winning matches and putting myself in a position where I earn that rematch. And you know, when that goes down, I'm gonna fight my ass off, and I'm gonna make him proud by getting my hand raised.
And like with Tavion Heights, just like with Josh Barnett, it's when you walk into Bloodsport, it's all about the absolute respect that you have for your opponent, and it's also not about lowering your expectations. As much as you respect somebody, as much as you admire them, you can always tell with anybody that somebody wants to be just an inch higher than them, a little bit closer to the mountain, but it's always love in the end. You ended off the year in perfect fashion, happy, healthy, and dominant in every way, shape, or form. Plus, on top of the New Japan Strong Tag Team Mountain, when you and Jarrell Nelson of the World Class Wrecking Crew finally got your chance to challenge for the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships against GYV, where it was the Wrecking Crew who walked out of Long Beach with gold around your waist and the massive support of all your peers who have seen you guys take no shortcuts to the top. Would you consider that to be the perfect end to your year after everything you and Nelson had been through with the betrayal and overcoming the odds against naysayers?
Yeah, you know, wrestling doesn't have like seasons per se. No one really has like an off season or an on season. So I kind of group things in by the year. So if we're saying like the 2024 season, that was like the storybook perfect ending. You know, that was I think like our fifth time challenging. I was I always believed in Jarrell and I believed in Jarrell and I from the very beginning, but I was getting to the point where I knew if I'm a fan, can I still believe in the Wrecking Crew if they can't pull it off for a fifth time? I would understand if they couldn't because uh, you know that's a lot. So I think it was a factor of you know we had the big victory versus Tom and Fred. Um, we had to me it was a defeat when we didn't get into tag league. So to get the biggest kind of accomplishment we could that year and get that biggest W of beating a team as good as GYV. doing it in LA where we both reside, you know, those those New Japan fans generally like to boo Jarrell and I, but that night it was all love, and that felt really validating that they saw, hey, these guys, they finally won the big one. They finally really did it. I mean, we beat the shit out of Rocky right after that, and they were like, "Yeah, do it, kill him." And Rocky's a pretty beloved guy, so uh, yeah, that was, that wasn't just the cherry on top of the year. That was the whole damn fudge Sunday, and it was the cherry on top, and it was really cool because you don't always get those kind of moments in wrestling, and especially, you know, at the end of the year, last booking of the year. It was really a special night for us.
I remember watching it and just being so happy and finally seeing that moment finally, especially at the end of the year. I was sick as a dog and I was like, this should be a good show. And it was perfect. Everything about it, the win, the new chapter. And like you said, there were no breaks in professional wrestling. God forbid an injury ever happens for anybody, but there are no breaks that happens throughout the entire year. You might get a couple of days off, but what athlete doesn't get those 2, 3 days off before they have to go back on the road and do their job? You end the year off in spectacular fashion. It's now 2025. It's a new you, new goals, new chapter, and new challenges. However, at Winners Circle Pro Wrestling, the reign came to an end for the world class wrecking crew when your guys 651 days on top of the mountain ended to the Pretty City Express. You two were the inaugural champions. You made everyone step up to the plate and found no team was hungrier than the City Express. What can you say about that reign, and how happy have you been during your time wrestling for Winter Circle Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, the reign speaks for itself. 650 days. That's almost 2 years. So, you know, I think people already knew where we stood in Southern California, but it's always good to have some hardware to remind people and show people. And a lot of days, a lot of defenses, and a lot of dominance.
A lot of dominance. 651 days. I was like, at some point, someone's got to take the titles off of you. And no offense at all, but it's like it gets to those points where you're seeing these dominant teams, like in sports, professional sports, baseball, basketball, football, who are having these big years, like the Chiefs. And then you finally find a team like the Eagles who can finally take them down and put something on the work. On February 8th, you turned the big 36. When you mentioned seasons, this was the best part about it. You're officially in like your Dave Cowens or even the Big Diesel Shaquille O'Neal era. Pro wrestling has its way of being a theater for the unpredictable. That is why my question for you is: what challenges and goals do you have this year? Are there any opponents you have not seen step up to the plate yet that you are looking to stand across from, or is there any name that you like to call out right now? For the rest of the year.
We already covered Tavion, so I'm not going to tread back over that. But the big one, and I've said this before on podcasts, so I don't think this is anything new. But I really want to wrestle Shibata at Bloodsport. I think he's perfect for the Bloodsport style, and I would like to be the guy to welcome him to that because I think that'd be a huge matchup. And he's someone, I trained with him a bit at the dojo, and he's on my like personal Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. So I have a lot of respect for him, and I would I would love to have that take place at that at in the inside of a Bloodsport ring. Other than that, I would really like to wrestle Dolph Ziggler sometime. That's a guy that I really look
Okay,
up to,
okay.
and I think he's still on top of his game. He's as good as he's ever been, and yeah, I just he's someone that like when I was first get breaking into the business, like he was like my guy that I was really really watching and thought, wow, that guy is a wrestler's wrestler. So hopefully I can make that happen sometime this year. That would be those two matches would be huge for me. You know.
It's exciting. Nick Nemeth, the wanted man. You want the wanted man. So it's like very exciting to see that actually happen. Hopefully it comes into fruition this year. And Shibata as well, Bloodsport. That would be a very exciting matchup to actually see happen because of how brutal both your guys' styles could be. He is like a butterfly. You know what I mean? He stays to himself, and once he needs to unleash, he unleashes. Next month, the 22nd of March, he will battle it out with Calvin Tankman, a beast who holds 2 wins over you in tag team action. But this will be the first time that you're able to duke it out in singles, and the stakes are higher than ever. A number one contenders for the West Coast Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. You said on social media when it was now announced, victory or Valhalla. You are not here to mess around. You are here to strike back. How are you feeling heading into this first time singles matchup for a shot at gold in the future?
Well, I know what Tankman does. I've been in there with him before. He's a damn beast. He's a tank man. He lives up to his name. Um, but I'm Royce Isaacs, and he knows he knows from being in there that I'm strong enough to throw him. I'm strong enough to do things to him that a lot of other people can't. Um, I think I match up really well with him. I'm very, very excited to be back in San Francisco, which is I've wrestled there a lot. Like that's the Bay Area especially is one of my kind of second homes as far as wrestling goes. Um, and West Coast Pro is, I was on the second show ever and was a staple there for years. So it's been a minute since I've been up in San Fran for them, but I'm really excited to get out there back in front of that San Francisco crowd. They always show me a lot of love, and I know they're going to cheer me on and make me fight even stronger because that's a big time matchup, and that's what I'm looking for. Going back to West Coast Pro is more big time matchups that let me really prove what I have and show what I have, and I think hopefully we'll get some good eyes on it because I don't know. I think as Big E says, big meaty men slapping meat. It's going to be one of those kind of hoss fight slobber knockers, and you know, Tankman is one of the best going, but so am I. So he's about to find out, you know, how deep the reserves are, so to say, in the Royce Isaacs jet fuel tanks.
I love that. And you're hungry to get back at that heavyweight championship. Last time you had a shot at was a year ago, but now look, new year, new you. It's new challenges, and it's not essentially have to be a whole new revamp. You're just getting stronger. You're getting better than ever, and you just want a shot at the heavyweight championship to prove, like what you said before. Doesn't matter how many times you go after it, 4 or 5 times. You're gonna come hungrier than ever and want to get that championship gold wrapped around your waist. This Saturday, February 22nd, you and Jarrell Nelson of the World Class Wrecking Crew will take on the team of Aaron Solo and Alan Angels. Last time you saw Angels was when you two teamed up last May as the Bully Crew for Nation Extreme Wrestling. You got the win that night, but now it's all about the Wrecking Crew stacking bodies and collecting belts around the globe. Is there any final message you want to send to your opponents, Solo and Angels?
Yeah, I mean, look, Alan, he's a he's a guy that I've teamed with in the past, so it's not like there's some bad blood there, but it's business. It is what it is. We're on a streak there, relentless. We're doing big things, so gonna have to wear your ass out. Sorry, buddy. I don't think I've ever shared a ring with Aaron Solo, but he's also a top professional wrestler. He's been around for a really long time, and he's done some really cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting in there, especially with you know this. This is a really good matchup going down in Spokane this weekend. If you're in the area, I definitely suggest you get yourself out to it because it should be an all out fight. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect from those two. I'm sure some old bullshit. I'm sure there'll be all some bullshit, but I'm looking forward to seeing them both in the ring. And at the end of the day, it's world class wrecking crew time. It's our show, and we're gonna do the damn thing.
Business as usual, always trying your everything you can to just get those wins, stack them up, and just keep proving why you guys are one of the best. One of the
Yeah,
best,
I mean,
and
at the end of the
soon to be
day,
after the
I
best.
I can't let Alan be the better bald man in the match. So
No, 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 no.
no no
So,
no, no love lost there. Yeah,
so you're gonna bully him? Essentially, what you're saying? The bully crew is gonna
might
become the bully.
might be time to bully the bully crew. Unfortunately for him.
I love that. All the respect to Alan Angels. Here's my final question for you today. A few days before you take on Tankman, you will headline Epic Pro Wrestling's event, The Meanest of Times, where one man's O has to go. Isaac versus Ray Rosas. The last time you faced off against each other in a singles match was for the United Wrestling Network Television Championship in 2018 for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. 7 years later, and now you have a chance to pin or submit him with whichever stipulation is chosen, if those situations are possible. You quoted Dan Gable, one of the all-time greatest wrestlers of all time, and you mentioned you were going to drag Rosas into the deep, deep waters that he has been avoiding his whole time in Epic Pro. How personal will this be for you to keep the streak alive and moving forward on March 15 in Los Angeles for Epic Pro Wrestling?
Well, here's the thing: is I'm undefeated at Epic Pro, but I almost feel like I should be like double undefeated because this whole time he's been, throwing little curveballs at me and interfering in matches, sending his goons after me and whatnot. So like, I need to get some credit for some extra wins or something. So I, I don't, hey, he's undefeated. He's 8-0, but I think he's going to see the difference in our undefeated records when he's in there and it's just me and him and there's nothing extra. It's just mano a mano. Um, I've had some of the best matches of my career at Epic Pro. I don't think March 15th is going to be any different. But at the end of the day, it's my hand has been raised every time, and this time my hand will be raised once again. Um, Ray, you can only run for so long. March 15th, get your scuba gear on because we're going to them deep, deep waters.
You quoted Gable with the rushes of training, and I automatically, once I heard that, I was like, this man is crazy. Like, you're going to the deepest oceans possible to prove you're not going to give up a point. But with that being said, also, is there a stipulation that you have in mind? Do you want to go in an Ironman route to where 30 minutes show him the deep waters, or is there something that you'd rather prefer just to make it easier on yourself, essentially for not putting yourself in too many different obstacles, especially with his goons
No,
around?
no, I honestly I don't want to make it easier for myself. If he really thinks that he needs his goons and he needs his backup and what at the end of the day, I'm going to leave it up to Epic Pro management what stipulation they pick. But if he wants a certain stipulation, if he wants a certain rule set to benefit him, give it to him. That just that just shows me he's cutting another corner. That shows me he hasn't really prepared. He's not ready. He needs that edge. That's just another, that's another point for me in my head. That's another mental edge I have over him. So if anything, he can pick the stipulation. I'm gonna beat him at his own game.
I can't wait to see it. That's gonna be a very exciting match for Epic Pro Wrestling. My apologies. Sorry. On My apologies. My apologies there. Sorry again.
Oh, you're good. March
Um,
15th.
March 15th. Thank you. Sorry, my phone was acting
Yeah,
up. It would give me a black screen. I was like, okay, thank you.
you're
But my
good, brother.
apologies. Epic Pro Wrestling, you two headlining it. You've been undefeated. Your last match was against Josh Alexander, who now no one knows where he might be going. He's finished up with TNA. Everyone's saying he might be all elite bound. We never know what kind of curveballs could be thrown. Anything could happen. But it's always exciting to see you in action. It's always exciting to see what you have in the future. It took you 6 months just to do all this. I wonder what the next 6 months are going to be full of, because you're a man who takes the biggest challenge and you always take it up a notch. Before I send you off, I appreciate you taking out the time out of your day again to allow me to interview you. Look forward to the next 6 months of competition, whether it's your climb to the top in singles action or defending the throne alongside Jarrell Nelson and NJPW as the strong openweight tag team champions. And I look forward to the next time we have an opportunity to see you with the 2025 season brought to you in the Wrecking Crew. This has been a BodySlamNet exclusive um, interview with the Mile High Samurai, one half of the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, Royce Isaacs. Thank you again, my friend, and to everyone watching, thank you. I hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good rest of your night, or wherever you may be watching this at. My name is Rami Hanna. See you next time. Of course, thank you as always, Royce.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you to everyone that listened to another 30 minutes of my insane ramblings. Where Rami tries to corral me and get me to talk some sense.
All good, all good, all love, and I cannot wait for us to talk next time. It's always been a pleasure, and I cannot wait to see what your future brings you. Thank you,
Hey, I
everybody, for
appreciate you,
watching.
brother. Thanks so much.